Hello, team, and welcome to another very quick, hopefully, part of the Frontline update that I included in my original Frontline update for today, but it took just a bit too long for the whole video. And so, I don't really want a Frontline update over 40 minutes. So I'm going to do this as a separate thing because I don't know how much of this is true, but it's worth reporting on. This is coming from Russian sources. It could well be true. It's the sort of thing that the Ukrainians might keep pretty quiet about. Activity taking place in the Black Sea between the Tarkhan Western Cape, the Tarkhan Cape here and Western Crimea, and this is Snake Island here. And there are also some platforms, I think they're natural gas platforms out here in the sea as well, that they use as springboards to get to Olenivka and indeed Mayak. They landed at Mayak the other day with a group on the Independence Day and did a little mission there that appeared to be pretty successful. Well, they have possibly tried that again, and the Russians have been on them, and it might not have been successful. We'll see, or something might have been successful and it's kept under wraps. I don't know, but this is what Rebar is saying. So there's the how they interpret that. Cartographically, you have Snake Island and a number of these different platforms that they use to then attack Crimea, and the Russians are trying to defend Crimea with their fighters. So Rebar says on the night of August 30th, the planes of the naval aviation of the Black Sea Fleet thwarted the attempts of the armed Ukrainians to land on Cape Tarkhan. The surviving boats with enemy personnel returned to Vilkovo. So I don't know whether that's to say that that's talking about the initial attack on Independence Day that was actually successful, but they're saying after that night, the surviving boats returned as if most of them didn't make it, because that's what their narrative was before. Anyway, this morning, Ukrainian sabotage groups again advanced first to Snake Island and then towards the gas production units, GDU. Such interest in the GDU is due to the fact that mobile radars or communications equipment can be easily placed on abandoned platforms. However, the Russian armed forces detected enemy activity near offshore installations and took off. There's Su-30 SM fighters took off, and they found one of the enemy's high-speed boats near the Odeskaya GDU. The crew worked on the target from the cannon and damaged the boat. We've got footage of this. So the claim here from Sprinters, a Su-27 hunting the GUR Special Forces boats in the Black Sea while patrolling the Black Sea waters by the Artan Special Forces. A Ukrainian boat attacked a Russian Su-27 fighter. The footage from the drone of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reports that after the attack, the GUR militant was in the water for 12 hours. Then the Ukrainian Special Forces evacuated the survivor under fire. As the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation reported yesterday, the boat of the Armed Forces of Ukraine was destroyed near about. Serpentine is probably the only survivor from that boat. This is the claims. Can't speak to any of the facts or the claims, the truth of the claims being put about here, but this is footage to show obviously a Ukrainian boat there, and then strafing from, this is what they can see, the Ukrainian boat can see the Su-27, the claim is here, in the sky, and then that has a pop at the Ukrainian boat, strafing it with with cannon fire, and the Russians are claiming that damaged the boat, and indeed possibly there being a survivor in the sea for 12 hours or something like that. We shall see. But anyway, Rebar continues that later at around 1:20 to 1:30, Su-24M bombers of the Black Sea Fleet naval aviation struck with RBC 500 cluster bombs at the accumulation of watercraft near Snake Island. Well, I don't know if you can use cluster bombs in the sea, can you? If it's near Snake Island, does that mean on the Ukrainian coast here? Is that in the water, or is that not near Snake Island but on Snake Island? According to some reports, during the raid, it was possible to destroy 3 enemy boats at once, as in they are claiming that they destroyed 3. In total, Russian pilots hit up to 7 boats with recon groups per day. In the event of the death of the personnel stationed there, these are quite tangible losses for the enemy. I mean, it's a bit of garbled translation, but you get what I'm trying to say, I think. Nevertheless, what happened does not mean that the Ukrainians will abandon plans to send sabotage groups to Crimea or activity near gas production facilities. So the problem of effectively countering the enemy in this area remains relevant. So the injured person they refer to is at the end of this this clip here, with someone just wrapped up in thermal blanket there, lying in a boat. This is another Ukrainian source giving their interpretation or claims about what happened. Ukraine's elite HUR Artan military intelligence boat crew lost a fighter named Conan, who went flying overboard in the Black Sea as they manoeuvred to evade fire from an enemy Su-27 warplane and were forced to leave the area. Ukrainian forces immediately sent a Bayraktar drone to locate Conan, then several boats to rescue him amid continual aerial fire, which they succeeded in doing after Conan had spent 12 hours in the open sea. Conan is now a legend, not only of the unit, but also of the all special forces. We do not abandon our own. So that is the claim that happened there. Does that fit with the Russian claim that, you know, they destroyed a bunch of boats? Well, the crew worked on a target and a cannon and damaged the boat, and then later, so that doesn't necessarily disagree with actually the Ukrainian claim. Those two claims can be true, it appears there. So the boat was damaged, possibly, but someone went overboard, later rescued, 12 hours later rescued, and then after that, the claim is here, the Russians went and destroyed a bunch of boats, and yeah, also using cluster munitions. So It appears that there's definitely some activity has taken place, and it does appear that Ukrainian did go overboard and was saved a good deal later. So there you go. Detailed account of this wild operation by HUR's elite Artan battalion. The boats of our units tried to break through to Conan through the dense fire of Russian fighter jets, which one by one flew into the area of the search and rescue operation and tried to prevent it. He knew that his brothers would definitely come back for him. Quote, "We have very strong motivation in the unit. I need 30 people for the operation. It can be a one-way trip, but 180 agree to go. People are offended if they aren't chosen." Wow. So there you go. Special forces operations are clearly taking place with increased frequency in this area, but the Russians do have fighter jets that are obviously trying to stop them, and they can probably operate out of range of the manpads. But I don't know how easy it is to fire like cannons at a boat in the sea out of manpad's range. So I don't know if the Ukrainians can take manpad's stingers on board and use them to defend themselves, as we saw the other day. So they did manage to damage a Russian fighter that had to limp back to the airfield in one of those exchanges. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll see more of this. Anyway, I thought I'd give you that account. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.